Alright, so welcome back to art. The first project you're going to have as 7th grade is learning about the 7 elements of art. And we're going to draw out a simple word element, and we're going to turn it into bubble letters. So start off, E, all in your handy dandy sketchbook, E, L, E, M, E, N. I'm going to squeeze this in. Actually, I'll go off the page. That's fine. All right, E-N-T, E-L-E-M-E-N-T, element. All right, so those are nice normal letters, but we're going to turn them into bubble letters. Follow along. I'm simply using a marker so it's easier to see. Add serifs to your letters. Going to go in on the M, down, down, up, over, in, down, at the bottom, over. All right, and then take it, and we're going to flesh these out. Making simple bubble letters to use. All right, element. So underneath each of these letters, we are going to draw a different element of art, or at least write it out. First element is line. Second element, shape. Third element, form. Fourth, color. Even black and white count as color. Fifth element, value. And we'll get back to that in a moment. I know it sounds like a weird thing for art, but it makes sense once we talk about it. All right, then we have texture. And then space. Space. All right. Line, shape, form, color, value, texture, space. So now in each of these letters, we are going to either draw around or inside the letter the element that it represents. Line is easy. The definition of line is art is a point moving across a surface and leaving behind a trail. It could be a stick in the mud. It could be a tool running through clay. Or in this case, a marker tip leaving behind lines. So I'm going to fill my E up with line. You can choose however you want to do yours. You can do some in the background. We got wiggly lines. We got zigzag lines. All right, we got different kind of lines. Shape, if I took a line and brought it around town and connected it almost to where, well, I'll just connect it to where it started, I have created an enclosed space that's two-dimensional. It's flat. This is a shape. So go ahead, choose out whatever shapes you want to draw. You don't have to copy me exactly, but I'm going to draw shapes on my L. So shape. Form is interesting. we're going to go up from shape from 2-dimensional into 3-dimensional instead. So let's turn this E into a 3-dimensional E. Add some table legs as diagonals, then connect. I'm going to write over form a little bit, but that's okay. Now you have a 3-dimensional E. You can also draw 3-dimensional shapes around it like cubes. Cones. All right, and other 3D forms that we can represent on a 2D paper. Color is easy enough. Y'all should have colored pencils or colored markers, crayons at home. Art would be very boring without color. So you choose any color you want, fill it in. I'm obviously going to go with a rainbow here to represent the color wheel. We'll talk about color wheels later in the year. Color. All right. Value. Value is an interesting thing. Value is not this kind of value. We're not talking about how expensive a painting is or how much it will go at auction. We're talking about the lightness or the darkness of a color. Really dark at the top. And it gets lighter as it goes on. Dark to light. Darker has more value, lighter has less value. Texture. Texture is how something feels in art. Even if it's a painting of a fluffy dog, your brain still registers that dog as fluffy. So take a texture. It could be spiky. It could be fluffy. It could be bumpy. All right. Kind of sandy, maybe smooth. All right, but different types of textures. Then you could draw things that have texture like a fluffy dog, or in this case, I always like to draw cacti. Because cacti are prickly. All right, home on the range. Got some cactuses. So texture. And last but not least is space, which is really kind of hard to show in just a tiny little bit of a project. It really needs a whole project by itself to be represented by what it actually is. It's room to move and breathe for your setting and your art. How things are positioned to each other. We obviously filled up this space with the word element and all its different little details. So your art actually occupies space. We're just going to do the easy thing for space. Moon and stars. Because that's usually what people think of when we talk about space. All right, so since we've done this, all right, with all our 7 different elements in our word element, I want you to go back and I want you to nicely color in all that you've drawn. You can add more details if you want, but we'll be talking about these in length with each of our projects. This is just an introduction to them. All right, so I can't wait to see what y'all show me and send in Google Classroom. All right, we'll see you next time.